Literally just started hiking, and right in the middle of the road found some scat. Looks like a lot of fur in it, so probably definitely some kind of a carnivore. And the size of it, my hand is about 8 inches in total length from the edge of the palm to the tips of my fingers. So it's a decent sized scat. Hard to say if it's coyote, large bobcat, cougar. I'll have to learn more about different animal scats and animal tracking and all that. So, get started with my day here. So I am back on the ridge that I came to in my first video, but this time I want to try to explore it a little more thoroughly, climb a little higher in elevation, and I really want to search for more animal sign like scat and tracks, see if I can find more of that. And I know this ridge has lots of salal, ferns, moss, vine maple, Oregon grape, those kind of plants. But I think I want to document that a little bit more, get some pictures of that, because I got a little bit of video of some of that last time, but I didn't take close-up pictures, so I want to do that. And hopefully I'll get lucky and find some possible Sasquatch sign, maybe even have an encounter experience, but obviously not counting on that. So I just want to see if this is actually a good area to search long term. So it's pretty much my plan for today, so we'll see what I find. And I do love finding these massive old growth trees when exploring, off trail especially. There's one big fir tree. Pretty sure it's a grand fir, but I'm not 100%. I've seen lots of Douglas firs and it's definitely in the fir family. But the branches way up top look more like a grand fir, and the bark is a little bit lighter in color. But I'll have to double check when I get home. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I know it's a fir tree. And it's one big one, that's for sure. Yeah. Always fun finding these kind of things when exploring. Just to show you real quick, that's what the branches of this fir tree look like way up there. Way up in the tree canopy. You can see the sun shining. Well, I found some old deer scat. It's fairly dried, so it's not fresh. And looks to be a hoof impression down in here. Been finding lots of old hoof impressions. So I think I'm gonna keep climbing up a little ways, see if we can find some fresher sign. So early on in my journey into the Sasquatch phenomenon, my plan is to just simply explore and scout out various areas, climbing ridges, paralleling creeks and rivers, searching around ponds, small lakes, meadows, and just seeing which areas have the most wildlife, the most plants, the most mushrooms, and at which times of year. is my hope is to really narrow down some key areas that would be good for more long-term research. Because I have lots of ideas for experimenting with various game trail camera setups, long-term audio recording units, and at some point I'd like to take a more like wildlife photographer's approach and maybe set up some natural blinds, little hideout spots that I can just sit quietly with a high zoom camera and just patiently wait for hours, if however long it takes, to hopefully get a good opportunity to get a Sasquatch on video. That's one of my main ultimate goals, to get some good HD video of Sasquatches. Really want to move the ball further down the field when it comes to research and getting closer to official recognition and discovery. But in the meantime, I just gotta find some good areas to search. And while I'm out here doing all these scouting trips and exploring, try to do my best to become more in tune and more familiar with nature. The sounds of wildlife, their behaviors, the signs they leave behind with their scat and their tracks. Learning more about various trees, plants, mushrooms, and what their characteristics are, what they're useful for, what animals feed on them. I think the more I can do to learn about that kind of stuff, the better off I will be when it comes to long-term Sasquatch research and finding key areas to narrow my search. Yeah, those are just some of my thoughts and plans. I'm gonna keep climbing up this ridge. Just found some bear scat. And it's kind of dried up, so it's not that fresh. And then just over here, this is a really big pile of it. Look at the size of my hand compared to that. Looks like there's lots of little seeds and stuff in it. Yeah, that is one big pile, that's for sure. Well, keep searching, see what else I can find around here. Well, I've been climbing for over 4.5 hours now, which is as much as I want to do for today. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of lay low and quiet, do a couple of claps, loud claps, see if I get any kind of response, stir anything up. And I'm also going to take some pictures of the plants while I'm up here. Then I'm going to start heading back down. So, see if anything happens. I'm just going to stay quiet, listen, take some pictures of the plants, see if I get any action, any kind of response. Well, working my way back down the mountain, found a jawbone of a deer. Pretty cool. Here's the other piece. And one right here. So that is one thing I'd actually like to study more up on, learn more about, is the skeletal anatomy of animals and primates. Because if I come across any bones while I'm out here, who knows what I may not be able to identify them if you don't have some good knowledge of the skeletal anatomy of most mammals. Never know if I might ever get lucky enough to stumble across a Sasquatch bone. And it may be a small and insignificant piece of a Sasquatch skeleton, small enough to where you'd really have to have some good kind of expertise and knowledge in skeletal anatomy and bones to be able to identify it and recognize the significance of it. I'm going to keep heading down the mountain, see if I can find anything else. Well, I've just about made it back down the ridge now, and man, it's honestly pretty physically exhausting traversing steep and rugged terrain up and down for over 7 hours. So I mean, I did find some black bear and deer sign. It was older, but it's pretty much mostly what I found. So this concludes today's search, and I think I've got some ideas for some other areas that I want to explore. So still just the beginning of my journey.